talking to you, telling you, okay, you need to release this, this, and this, so that I have enough energy to manifest the thing you want in a physical form. Think of it like giving birth. The mother needs more calories when they're having a baby, right? You need more energy when you're trying to manifest something in your life. Okay, so I'm currently sitting in my bathtub right now. If you hear anything, if you hear water dripping, it's just my tap. But I had to make this video right now because it just felt so important. It's one of those videos that just came out of nowhere. It's these spontaneous ones. And I know that these are the videos that I'm meant to share every time because it just feels more right than anything. But what I wanted to share is that we need to feel again. And this might contradict some of my videos from the past, and I know I've made videos about neutrality, but when it comes to neutrality, the concept was right. The idea of neutrality is right, but to get to the point of neutrality, you have to feel. And I understand this now because I look back on, that's funny I say I look back, on my back surgery. Everything makes sense to me now. It's like I had this moment of clarity tonight after one of the most emotional moments. I just had this complete clarity that we have to feel. You have to feel. Look at this dollar sign. It's an S shape, and then there's a line through it. The wave is emotions. The line through it is like the laser point of it. It's like the arrow pointing straight, the masculine and the feminine. The feminine is the emotional side, and that's the side that our entire planet has been suppressing for so long. We haven't been feeling our emotions, and in not feeling our emotions, we put more weight on the heart. We put more weight on the feminine. And if you even hear the song, it's a man's world, but it would be nothing about a woman without a woman or a girl. In that song, it talks about the boat to carry man's heavy load. The boat is the woman. The boat is the heart. We are not balanced anymore. We're not balanced anymore. We're putting all the weight on the woman, on the divine feminine in nature. And again, man, woman, doesn't matter what you are, you have both inside of you. But the whole reason this has been reflected outwardly, you can see it in the world outside, because you can see how women weren't able to vote at one time. Women were told to stay in the kitchen and cook all day and to clean. That's what the heart is doing. The heart takes the blood back into the heart, and then it pushes new blood back out, like the deoxygenated blood, whatever it's called. I don't know the exact terms for it right now, but you know what I mean. So it pumps the blood out, the masculine energy pumps the blood back in and gives it back. That's like the blue. You can see your veins in your body, and then in the arteries is what pumps it back out. Sorry, this is probably not making a lot of sense right now, but just understand me, okay? So the heart is the feminine, the head is the masculine. They have to work in conjunction with one another, and this is how you manifest anything. And I'm talking anything. Like money itself is consciousness. Money is consciousness, and I know some people don't want to hear that, and they think money is the evil, but money is consciousness. We call it currency because it's a current. You're creating a current in the body. Money is consciousness. We use all these like water terms for money, like the flow, cash flow, right? I don't know, like there's so many terms. I can't think of them right now because I'm just like too in the zone of talking about this, but there is so many different terms for money that have to do with water and the flow, and just trust me on this is the truth. Look at the dollar sign, okay? And then also the fact that my back surgery, I was born with a spine that was S-shaped, and then they put rods in to make my spine straight. This is what I was meant to teach. Like, I know now this is what I was meant to teach. And a funny part about all of this is that it's like been right in front of us all along. Like Neville said, feeling is the secret, and it is, because to get back to a neutral state, we have to feel, because we've all been in this masculine energy for far too long. We've been in this energy of putting all the pressure on our heart. We put all the pressure there on the woman in the family. The woman does all the caretaking for the children, and children represent all of the different ideas that you're creating, all the different desires that you have. They all are putting pressure on you, because all those emotions that you're not feeling about all the things you truly want in life, that you suppress down, that you don't tell people about, your fears about the things that you want, your fears about never becoming something you want to become, all of that gets suppressed down and sits in your heart, okay? It's like you create this stone heart. It no longer can function the way it used to. You lose the passion for life that you had when you were a child. We weren't meant to grow up, okay? We weren't meant to grow up and live in a world that's made of stone, a world that is gray. If you go watch the movie The Giver, and you will see exactly what I mean. That is how we are living right now. We are living numb. We are living tuned out. So when I talk about neutrality, this is a type of neutrality that is only reached through feeling your emotions. You reach that balance through an up and down. Think of it like stocks going up and down. It's like that, but it's like the line through it. Again, I talk about in money, the symbol. It's a straight line that goes through this line of emotion. You have to have this sort of laser vision on what it is you want, despite any emotion that comes up as you're moving towards that thing. You have to continue to believe in it, but at the same time, you have to be honest with yourself about what it is that's making you fear that thing or holding you back from that thing. And I mean literally out loud, right? Like talk to yourself about what you're feeling out loud. Speak it out as if you're having a full-on conversation with yourself. Talk whatever you need to talk out to bring up emotions. Like, you want to bring up emotions. You don't have to force this to happen, by the way. It'll tend to happen, but if you don't want it to happen as a giant wave all at once, I recommend doing this as a practice. Start having conversations with yourself, and I cannot stress, this is the number one most important thing to manifestation of all things ever, is to feel your feelings. Like, there is mass and energy. I have now come to this understanding completely. So the energy that comes from these emotions that you release, you push yourself down when you release emotion. Think of it like pushing yourself towards the bottom, like a spring. You're pushing yourself down, and then as soon as you let all that stuff out, it's like you like slingshot back upwards. It's almost like helium or like a balloon. It's like you let go of all these emotions, and all of a sudden it's like you spring upwards, and that momentum, that energy, it goes towards creating the thing that you want. It has to do with mass as well. Einstein talked about this, how mass and energy are correlated. I forget his exact way that he explains this. Again, I'm going to make another video. This is just one of my very spontaneous in the moment videos, so I don't have anything planned, but this is exactly what I understand, is that it's the energy of the emotional release that pushes you towards the thing that you want. And so it's not about being a robot. We're not meant to be robots. We're meant to feel. We're meant to feel all these emotions so that eventually we get to a point where we don't have to feel all these emotions, because we become so ridiculously confident in our ability to manifest anything we desire, because it's real, because it's possible, that we don't have to face all these emotions all the time. It doesn't come in such big waves anymore. That's the point that you'll get to. So when I talk about neutrality, that is the key, but you have to get there through feeling your emotions. And trust me, I have had to go through it. Like, I have felt emotions I have never felt in my life. I have felt the depths of the possible lowest depths you could even think of. But then I end up having these crazy moments of clarity after, and I attribute it all to this. And that's because it's the feminine and the masculine working together. The feminine communicates through emotion. So if you're feeling this sort of pressure inside of you, if you're feeling a pressure, if you get a lot of, like, for some of you, like headaches, or you get a lot of pressure, issues with your stomach, anything, inflammation in the body, that's because you're suppressing the feminine. It's like, think of, the best way I can explain it is think of the movie The Little Mermaid, where, again, if someone's going to comment that I'm making a Disney or Pixar reference, I do it in like every video, I don't know why, but in that movie, she talks about, like, she sells her soul basically to be on Earth, to be with this man, and then as she's on Earth with him, he ends up thinking this other woman is like the one he wants to be with, and he doesn't realize all along that she's like right there, the one he really is in love with. And that's just like us. We're so focused on this outside world, we don't even realize the one that wants to give us everything is inside of us, and we're just suppressing them. We're suppressing their voice, because their voice is the voice of emotion. That is the feminine energy, is the voice of emotion. and you have to let it come out. It's like your heart that you are suppressing. It's your passion for life that you're suppressing. So when you let that speak, that is letting your intuition speak, because ultimately we were meant to be guided by both our intuition and our minds. They were meant to work together in tandem. But what's happened is that the humans in nature have taken over, and they've put the masculine energy first. We put our minds first. We put it on a pedestal, and we say, this is the thing we're going to listen to all the time, instead of giving the feminine energy some time to speak. And that's in the moments of silence. So the moments in between you thinking a thought and the silence is where the feminine is able to speak. But if you're constantly thinking thoughts and you're never giving yourself a break, never letting yourself feel anything, that's when the feminine gets suppressed. And the whole point of life is to feel. And we've made movies about this even. Like if you look at the Barbie movie that was just made, the song, What Was I Made For? That's exactly it. If you don't feel, it's not real. And they like... I can't explain this, but it's like I'm being shown everything. And so the days where you're not feeling anything, where you're kind of numb, or you're going through life and you're not there in the present moment, you're existing somewhere in the future or the past that don't exist, it's like you gray out that moment. It's like it doesn't exist. It's like it never happened. So you want to fill your days with color, because that is the whole meaning of life. Life is supposed to be felt. It's supposed to be lived in the moment. I know we're all so focused on manifesting things in the future and the next thing and the next thing, but like life is right here. Everything you want is right here in this moment. And also, the biggest lie ever is that you don't already have the thing that you desire, because you do. That's the other thing, is that we're so focused on getting it. And we have this ego inside of us that says, no, you don't have that. No, that's not possible. It's not yours right now. You're not going to manifest it. That ego that you're hearing in your head is the voice of every single generation before you. And when I say generation before you, you might not fully understand what I mean by this, because we technically are constantly being reborn all of the time, every time that we think thoughts. So just keep that in mind as well. But it also includes generations before you, like quite literal, like your parents, your grandparents. So your ego is made up of everyone that's come before you, okay? And so when you're going through this process of manifesting things you want, you may feel big waves of emotion. They may come up inside of you. And that's because it's like suppressed emotion that's been in there for so long. Like it's been in there forever, because no one ever felt it. No one in your family or bloodline ever felt these emotions, so you're the one feeling them for them. Like you're the one taking on that burden of feeling them. But in doing that, it's like you unlock everything that's been closed. You open all the doors that have been shut for you, and you allow this sort of water to flow. And when you end up crying, think of it like the rain falling back to the earth. So, you know, like it's taken up by the sun, whatever, and then it falls back to the earth. It's like the things returning to you. So the things that you've desired, when you're crying or when you're letting out emotion, think of it like you are returning that energy to yourself, like you're giving it back to yourself again. You're releasing stored energy to then be used. Like this energy that's been stored inside of you for so long. And when you do this, it's almost like unlocking a safe or something. Think of it like a safe filled with money, because every other generation's been suppressing it. They didn't use this energy that they had access to, this consciousness. So then when you go and unlock it and feel all the emotions, you're the one that ends up receiving those things that somebody else never felt. And again, this goes back to just feeling emotions and being vulnerable and being, as we talked about in my other video, transparent. Be honest with yourself. Just like treat yourself like you are talking to another person, and talk out loud, okay? Talk out loud when you do this. Don't just talk in your head. I wouldn't recommend that, because the ego can get in the way too easily. Talk out loud to yourself. Speak out. Have a full conversation with yourself about what you're afraid of. Be so ridiculously honest in this conversation. And do this regularly. Like, just have full-on normal conversations with yourself about what your fears are, what you're afraid of, what you don't like, what you want in life as well. So have the conversations about what's scaring you, what you don't like. But then also, this is where the masculine energy comes in, that straight line comes in, where you say, okay, but this is what I want to experience. You say, like, like you already have it. Like, this is my experience. Like, this is what I want. Or this is not a good way of wording it, but I am this thing, or I have this thing. That's the masculine energy. So when you're affirming for something as if you already have it, that is like the masculine energy. And when you do that after you've released emotions, or while you're releasing emotions, like anytime, whatever, as long as you do both things, it's like you give energy. Think of it like pulling back an arrow. But the feminine is the energy for this arrow to go far. If you only do the masculine, like if you only say affirm for something, but you don't feel the emotions that go along with it or your fears that you have, then the arrow is just going to sort of fall. It's like not going to do anything. It's not going to go very far. But if you like feel every bit of fear that you have, every positive emotion you have towards it, like any emotion you have towards this thing, if you just feel it and you're vulnerable about it, you just, or at least you speak it out to yourself and you talk about it towards yourself, you're fueling that arrow. It's like you're fueling a jet rocket or something. I don't know, that's what I'm hearing right now. That's what you're fueling. So then when you release it, this time it goes all the way. Think of it like a home run, like it goes out of the park. So it's like you give momentum to things when you use emotion. Emotion is the fuel to the fire. Like emotion, it's like the flames to the fire or something. What am I saying? I don't even know. Anyways, but can you tell I'm excited about this topic? I will make more videos because this video is probably going to confuse someone, but it's so simple. It's just feel your emotions. Talk to yourself like you're talking to someone who you're telling your whole life story to. Just about whatever it is that you're trying to manifest or whatever your fears are in life. Just talk to you as if you're talking to someone else and being completely vulnerable with them. Just be open with yourself, because this is how you manifest anything you want in your life. And consciousness itself, the more energy you release from your body, the more energy stores you can open and release. Like think of it like cracking open these shells that have been closed for so long with all this water inside of it, all this money inside of it. Every time you crack one open, it's like you open up more energy that can be used to manifest new things. All right? I hope that makes sense, because even my last video where I talked about breaking the loop, this is the same thing. You're breaking this ongoing cycle of suppressing things, the ongoing cycle of living the same experiences over and over again, because you crack open the reasons why you haven't been able to move forward. Because everything you desire is yours. Like it's yours right now in this moment. It's yours. It always has been. It's so true that it's yours. And I was even looking back on my life, trying to comprehend when things changed, because when I was younger, I was like the most passionate person ever, and I truly believed in myself, and I didn't even know that much about manifestation. I used to just go to bed at night and I would daydream, or like night dream, I guess you could say, before bed for hours listening to music. I would daydream, night dream about everything that I wanted to experience. I would think about like being famous one day or something, or I would think about my business taking off. I would think about the product I wanted to create. I would think about the jobs that I wanted. And back then, I got everything that I wanted. My life, like if you looked at my life back then, you'd think I was the luckiest person. I got so many opportunities back then. I was so blessed in so many ways. I was making like so much money back then. It was like my life was amazing. And then as I got older and my parents started to talk to me more about money, and they were like, okay, well, you're gonna have to make this much money. And I started to get too focused on what everybody else was saying. I started to listen to what everyone around me was saying, and I stopped daydreaming about things. I stopped focusing on my vision, stopped listening to my heart, and I started listening to the logical things everybody was telling me, and I was like, oh yeah, that's a good point, like that could happen, or that could go wrong, and I'm like, maybe I should prepare for that. And that's when my business went down. It's when I started listening to the logical mind, because the heart knows better than the logical mind. It's so much smarter. It is so much smarter. It can open 1,000,000 doors, whereas the logical mind can only open one sometimes. Like, think of it like you have this intuitive mind that could give you exactly what you want if you just trust it, versus the logical mind where you have hundreds of doors to choose from and only one is the right one. That's like what you're listening to when you listen to the logical mind, okay? The logical mind is meant to be the selector. It's meant to be the straight arrow, the one that chooses something. Just like I said in one of my other videos where you select and then you live the experience, that's what we were meant to do. We're meant to select something and then we were meant to live in the experience afterwards, which means feeling the emotions that come along with the experience, like living in the moment of life that comes after you choose it. Because you know wholeheartedly that that thing is going to show up in your life. You're going to experience it. And I'll talk about in another video how it actually happens, that what you imagined now becomes your future. But just know that that moment you've envisioned it in your mind, it's not fake. That's real. Action is taken in the mind. Like, that is real, what you just experienced. It's yours in that moment. So you select it, and you just live your life, and it will happen. And the way that you stay moving towards it is that you feel the emotions that come up as you're moving towards it, because you're going to feel some things probably along the way. And the reason you're feeling things and feeling doubt and feeling scared and feeling fear is because that's the feminine talking, trying to guide you, trying to get you to feel these things so that it can use that energy that you now released to manifest in physical form the thing that you want. So emotions are actually amazing. They're the feminine voice talking. They're your intuition talking to you, telling you, okay, you need to release this, this, and this so that I have enough energy to manifest the thing you want in a physical form, because I'm going to need enough energy to be able to do that. Think of it like giving birth. Like the mother needs more calories when they're having a baby, right? You need more energy when you're trying to manifest something in your life. Anyways, this was like a major rant video, but I just needed to get this out. I felt like it was so important. Even if this doesn't come out the exact way I want it to sound, this is kind of the direction that I'm heading in anyways. It's just being vulnerable, talking on the internet, not editing every single one of my videos, making sure it's absolutely perfect and that I don't say, or I don't say something the wrong way. Like, we're just so... all of our life, like, we've been told to fit into a box, fit into a system, be like everybody else, do the things the way everybody else does them, but nobody's happy. So why should we keep doing things the way we've always done them? Instead of trusting your logical mind that's gotten you and gotten all of us to this point of just nowhere useful, why don't we give trusting our intuition a try and listen to our emotions this time and feel our emotions and try that one out and see how that goes? Because really, we weren't meant to exist in a box. We're not meant to have everything make sense day to day. Because if you start to live your life moment to moment where you're just genuinely in the moment, then the possibilities for you become endless. Think of it once again like the doors, okay? A bunch of doors around you. And if you start focusing on, okay, well, today, normally this always happens, and then this happens in my day, and then later I go have lunch at the same spot that I always have lunch, and then I come home, and then I watch a show, and then I go to bed. If you think of your days like that, you've already scheduled out your whole day. So you picked like maybe, I don't know, like 8 of the doors of the infinite number of doors that could have been open for you that day. But if you live in the moment and you allow anything to happen that day, you're just like open to whatever happens next. Like, you know what? I don't know what's going to happen today. Maybe this could happen today. Maybe another thing could happen. You could even just say, I'm open to all the good things that could happen today. All the possibilities that could happen today. You can even think, any of my desires could manifest today. You just keep an open mind. If you stay like that, you give your higher self so much more opportunity to move, and now anything could happen in that day. Like, you are opening so many doors for yourself when you live in the present. That's why everyone talks about that. Because when you don't live in the present, you're narrowing down your options to basically nothing, and you're probably choosing the doors you don't want, versus leaving everything open, and your higher self will take you through the doors that you really want to go to. Because once again, your masculine mind, like, you can select where you want to go. You could, but try to be more general about it. Be like, you know, I'm open to whatever one of my desires wants to manifest today, or I'm open to receiving large amounts of money today, but maybe I don't know where they're coming from. And again, if emotions come up after you've said this, if you start feeling things after you said this, you feel doubts or fears, feel those emotions. Let them come out. Talk about them to yourself. Talk about what you're feeling. Don't get scared because you have the opposite emotion come up that you want and you don't experience what you want right away. Because if you're not experiencing what you want, it means that there is an emotion blocking it. So as soon as you can release it, then now that energy can go towards manifesting what you want. Okay? That was a lot. So this is my video for today. I hope this is helpful. I don't care if this contradicts any of my other videos. I'm so over trying to explain myself all the time in videos and be like, yeah, I know I said that thing a while back, but the thing is, we are not our past versions of ourselves. We are quite literally not, and I can see that now. It's very clear to me. I understand how this works. We are not our past versions of ourselves at all. We are constantly learning. We're constantly evolving. We aren't meant to be the same as our past version of ourselves, because if we stay the same, then we are never going to learn, and we are never going to grow. We're never going to change. So if I just kept repeating my same old concepts just to say that I'm right, and that, you know, just to make sure that the internet knows that I never get anything wrong and that I never mess up, if I just kept repeating my same old concepts in my old videos, that would be so useless, because then I would never be able to tell you guys what actually really does work, what actually really has changed my life, and that is this. And I've actually waited to talk about this topic because it's something I've been experiencing, working with over the past week, 2 weeks now, and it's just been life-changing is all I can say, and freeing. So tonight was just like the final moment where I was like, okay, I have to share this video. And it was in the bathtub too, of all times. Like, I was just like, I need to make this video right now because someone needs to hear this, because I want to change the world and I want to help people. And I just feel like I'm just tired of seeing people give up their dreams to, again, just live in a box for their whole life and never want more for themselves, or never want to actually live too. I'm tired of seeing people say that they don't care to live, or that they'd be totally happy to just not wake up in the morning or something. Like, you hear people say that all the time, they joke about it, the negative comments everywhere. Like, we are so blessed to have the capacity to feel, because without feeling, in a world that is just numb, as some people, you know, they wish they never had emotions, they wish they didn't have to be so emotional, but your emotions are what make you human. And I know we talk a lot about being your higher self, being the observer, but I'm a strong believer that we aren't really meant to live that way. We're meant to live as our human self in this world. We're meant to live the actual experience. We're not just meant to be the observer of it. We're meant to fully live and embrace the moment and be here in it. Otherwise, why would we come here? What's the point of just observing? That's no fun. So I say, trust the child in yourself. Trust the part of yourself that wants to have fun, that wants to do exciting things and be weird and like, and just don't care. Like, think of how you were when you were a kid. Just be you and don't care what anybody else says. It's just, that's where I'm at this moment. And I know I'm rambling at the end of this video, but I just don't care anymore. I don't care. I'm just so done with trying to put on a facade for the world and just pretend to be perfect and pretend to have everything together and know everything all the time. I'm just sharing things as I learn them, as I understand them, and I think we should all do that, because our world would be a much more interesting place if everyone was just whoever they wanted to be in every moment. So I'm going to end the video with that. Thank you guys so much for watching, subscribing to my channel, liking my videos, and thank you also to the, I don't know how many now, like 27, 28 members that have already joined. I'm so appreciative of that. That was extremely wild, and it just means a lot to me that you guys care so much about my content, and yeah, I just wanted you to know how much that meant to me, so thank you, and I will see you guys in the next one. All right, bye.